Hi guys, I am Yuri and I would like to share with you our vision on how modern language models can be used to generate content more efficiently. Let's get started. Okay, let me start with general technological vision. Let me say the obvious that ChatGPT changes the way business operates today and that the companies has to learn to leverage ChatGPT to succeed and grow. What is less obvious is that there are two fundamental ways that you can use ChatGPT. One is reactive, the other one is proactive. In reactive way, you just ask ChatGPT answers, and ChatGPT works for you just a tiny fraction of time, while in the proactive way, ideally, ChatGPT knows your goals, priorities, and works all the time to help you. You just give feedback and directions from time to time. So when it comes to reactive way, companies do that all the time. When it comes to proactive way, almost nobody does it today. So reactive way is about question to answer thing. And proactive way is about going from goal to actual solution. But the main question is how can we make current GPTs proactive? And the simple answer is that we can just put some software on top of ChatGPT so that this software takes goal as input and produce solution as output. And there might be some human supervision on top. In other words, the software should transform goals into specific solutions while minimizing human involvement. And let me give you a concrete example. So maybe the goal is to create a movie recommender system. And the solution in this case might be a website that recommends movies, the same for books. Maybe your goal is start doing content marketing campaign, and the solution is hundreds of ready to publish blog posts. Or maybe even more ambitious goal of creating a software that can improve itself. And solution might be actual software that doing it, or maybe parts of it, while keeping human in the loop. And the main question how this software should look like. And there are a couple of ideas. The first idea is that probably this software should be a development platform specifically designed to work well with latest ChatGPTs. And the second idea is to vectorize the generation process the same way as MATLAB or NumPy vectorize math operations. And the reason for that is that we might want simple script to be able to produce large amount of really complex data. And the third idea is to introduce an app layer to customize generation process. So whenever we face some specific task, maybe we would like user-friendly interface to help us with that. But let's put all this idea on the slides. So first we have on the diagram, first we have ChatGPT, and then there is a development environment or development platform that might look like this. So this platform contains scripts, and this scripts contains commands. Some of the commands may use ChatGPT internally, and those scripts will produce content which consists of variables, and each variable is actually an array. So, and on top of all of that, there are user-friendly apps. But that might sound too abstract. Let's take a look at concrete examples. And first example would be independent generation. Let's look at that. So there is variable a with so there is an array, and this array contains three components. And maybe what we would like to do is to generate more ideas like in those arrays. So we can run a command more like that. It takes a as an argument, as a prompt, and prompt as a second argument, and produce the variable b. And this variable b contains more ideas. And maybe we would like to concatenate those two ideas like in this kind of way. And what we're doing here is simple algebra on top of generation results. That's cool. So maybe we would like not to make more ideas, but rather add details to existing ideas. So we can take the variable c and apply command to that, give details. The command takes c as an argument and prompt as a second argument, and produce for each collection title the actual content for the collection. And maybe we could go even further and create XML document out of this content and the variable called the XML. And if we just take these commands and put them into script and just run all of these commands, we will get those variables. And if we take a look at the variable c, it will just contain the ideas, and the variable d will contain the actual ideas plus the content, and the variable d XML will contain the ideas plus content in XML format. Okay, so let's move further. And the second use case will be about independent generation, but with some control over diversity or over the generation process. So let's first start Ideas Explorer app, and this is quite an interesting idea. So first we will define some text, some direction of search, I would say. Then we will define prompts. One prompt to suggest topics of interest, the other prompt to suggest actual ideas for the collection. And there are also two optional prompts. I will not focus on them here. So let me just, so user can just select those tags, and each time user select a tag, relevant topics or tags are suggested, as well as the ideas for the collections. And then user can pick specific collections of interest, and if you do it long enough, you will get a lot of collections picked. And maybe you would like to see the actual content for some collection. You can click and see, and when you are done with the ideas generation, you just select export option and export this data in a specific variable C. So the point here is that we used some user interface to generate 34 initial ideas, and then we just run the last lines from the previous script. But before that, we will see the C variable, the content of that, and then we run the script to obtain those D and D XML variables, and if we output them, we will see what the script has generated. If we want, we can publish that, but in this video I will not explain that. I will show it in live demo. Okay, let's move next to the dependent generation. This is very interesting because it allows you to generate creatures or entities that has some dependencies, and as a result you can produce recommenders systems, full text courses, and quite complex data structures. Okay, but at this point we may want to generate creatures that are somehow interconnected. So we have creatures, say 1,000 of them, and we want them to make them interconnected. And the way we can achieve that is by introducing tags. So we have creatures, we have tags, and tags make it possible to interconnect creatures. Okay, but how it might look in practical setting? We have ideas, say 1,000 of them, and then we just run familiar command called give details. But this time our prompt is not to give details, but rather to summarize the collections with tags, to suggest tags. And here is the result. And then what we can do, we can take those tags and the ideas and attach tags to the ideas to get the collections titles tagged like this. And then we can just take these commands and put it into a script. So we have initial ideas. Let's see what's here. So those are just ideas, and then we use give details command to obtain tags, and then we attach the tags that were generated to the ideas in this kind of way. And now we have our collection titles tagged. Okay, so what if we have more interesting case? And this case is site content variable with more than 5,000 collection titles, collections actually in XML format. So this variable looks like this, like more than 5,000 elements here. And if we just publish that, we will see and run appropriate app here, we will see a complete built out-of-the-box recommender system, which suggests user relevant tags according to selected tags, and also suggest relevant collections. So, and in this case, I can pick a collection called Top 5 Space Exploration Thrillers with Cosmic Anomalies and see relevant movies, TV series, books, educational content, and anime series. And I may switch topics completely and pick something related to startups and select a collection called Top 5 Dramas Following the Innovation-Driven Lives of Tech Entrepreneurs. And in this case, I will see relevant movies, TV series, and books which are autobiographies, and also some series, very good books. Most of them I have read and enjoyed. Okay, so the last use case, the last but not least, very important one. So it's about self-improvement. And suppose that we want software to self-improve proactively, actually, or at least to be as close as possible to that setting. So we have the next creature software with different components, say integrated development environment, commands, apps. Let's focus on commands. And the idea is the following. The idea is to have self-improvement process on top. And what we want is that this self-improvement process suggests us useful command that is automatically integrated into the source code of the system. And then the process repeats itself. And next command proposed and integrated. But the whole point here is that command should be valuable and that it should be correct most of the time, and that self-improvement process has to be fast, and that human supervision has to be minimal and easier. So that might be too abstract. Let's take a look at the concrete example. So let's see how simple software self-improvement process might look like in the next creature software. So we just run self-code app first, and then we define topics of interest. And if we just select these topics, the system will suggest relevant topics which I can click also and select, and based on the selected topics there will be suggested some functions along with the descriptions. So maybe I'm interested in the functions called sort by length, which actually sorts the array elements based on their length. So I pick this one, or maybe I pick another one, and if I like that command, I just click on that and see implementation. And then I may click on integrate as a command button. But the whole point here is that we work with recommender system. We just click and useful commands shows up, and we just click integrate as command button to go and implement them. And each time we do that, system improves, like in this case. So in this case we have some initial content, some hotkeys, hints here, and what we can do, we can just apply our functions that was suggested and implemented by the system, and as a result we see the short commands first and the longer command last. So we make several clicks and the system becomes better. Isn't that really cool? Okay, so let's summarize. Current GPT usage is reactive, however proactive usage is the most promising one. Hopefully I convinced you. And the next creature software is a step forward this proactive usage. And the software contains two things: development environment and app layer. Development environment more about automation of generation process by making batch generation easy. And app layer contains user-friendly apps specialized on specific tasks. And finally, if we just run a simple script, thousands of interconnected entities may arise, and that's cool. What's even cooler, if we chain together apps and scripts, that may lead to the creation of really complex and valuable content. So hopefully you enjoy the video, contact us, and see you later.